What's up, mates? Kenny G here. Today we are talking about a small company in California called Netlist that developed some leading edge computer memory technology a couple decades back. And why they're important is their technology literally allowed computers and servers of the day to access RAM like up to 4 times faster than a traditional computer could. And Google took advantage of this. So we're gonna cover over the past decade, what happened a decade ago, what's happened in between, and where we're at today at a very high level. Let's get it. Okay, let's rewind the clock 10 years. Netlist is meeting with Google in hopes that Google is going to license their IP. Instead, Google loves their IP so much that they decided to copy it, manufacture it, and put it in their servers. Problem for Google came up when the court ordered a random check of their servers and they find Netlist IP in there. And so now they're the dominant powerhouse we know them as today. They're the fastest search engine on the market, but they have Netlist IP in there that they did not pay for, right? So Netlist now has been battling Google in court for over 10 years. And Google essentially has tried to run out the clock on them to whether Netlist would just flop or they would just stop the cost of litigation all in all. Neither of those has happened. Quote from CEO SK Hynix said, "For 10 years, Netlist has steadfastly opposed Google's misguided campaign to invalidate the 912 patent. We are very pleased that in the end, the appellate court made it clear that the claims of this seminal patent are indeed valid, and in so doing, further vindicate our decade-long defense of the company's strategic IP. We will now move to lift the stay in the patent infringement lawsuit against Google in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California in order to recover current and past damages related to the 912 patent." So after bouncing around the California courts for nearly a decade, and Netlist stock also getting beaten to a pulp, dropping down to 11 cents a share in mid-2018, and still being like 75 cents a share heading into 2021, Netlist turns a little bit of a corner, right? Google's not gonna get what they want. Netlist gets approval to transfer the patent infringement case to West Texas with a judge named Alan Albright. And here's why that's a big deal. There's a recent success story with that judge where the jury awarded VSLI Technology LLC one of the biggest patent verdicts in US history against Intel. They're awarded just over $2 billion, but it could have been worse, right? So Intel was accused of willful blindness. So the jury said there was no willful infringement, and if they found otherwise, it would have enabled District Court Judge Alan Albright to increase the award even further to up to 3 times the amount set by the jury. And absolutely, there has been willful infringement with Google using Netlist IP. So who's first up to bat against Netlist in the West Texas courts with Judge Alan Albright? It's actually not Google, it's SK Hynix. And that's a very important piece of information because SK Hynix is really going to pave the way for our battle against Google in the coming weeks. So what's the first thing SK Hynix try to do when they realize that this is about to take place in West Texas? They try to transfer it right back to California. And Alan Albright immediately throws up the X to that request and actually gets accused of abusing his discretion. Thankfully, the US Court of Appeals comes in and affirms that he did not abuse his discretion here and that the patent infringement case is going to stay in West Texas. Very crucial piece of information, and honestly, it just pissed off Alan Albright that much more. AKA that's in Netlist's favor. Fast forward a little bit, March 16th comes around. Netlist receives a favorable claim construction order in case against SK Hynix. Fast forward now to April 5th, where they're basically like, all right, let's settle this outside of court. Netlist and SK Hynix enter into a strategic agreement for patents, technology, and product supply. So essentially they agreed to end all pending matters in the US District Court and are going to partner now, which is great. So where are Google and Netlist at today in terms of legal allegations and legal talk that's going on? June 30th, Netlist and Google had a deadline to submit a joint letter to the court if they did not come to terms yet. The letter was going to explain what both parties' position was on the discovery process and was going to be no longer than 10 pages. Once that letter was supposed to be submitted, Judge Spiro, we'll go with Spiro because it's cooler, will decide the discovery process going forward. And we already know that California courts favor broad discovery, which is great for Netlist. And the judge already told Google that they would not like the end result if it went to Judge Spiro's hands, right? AKA if they didn't submit the joint letter in time for the deadline. So what happens? Google misses the deadline last night. So we're either looking at a very large settlement that's about to come out for Netlist, or it's gonna be a really pissed off Judge Spiro And we know that the next hearing is going to be on July 16th, but we're hoping to hear some news before then. So we shall see. It's a little bit after 2 p.m. Eastern right now. Netlist is currently at $3.93 a share. Some big news that came out this morning is that Netlist price target was raised to $6 at Roth Capital, which is awesome, right? We're just under 4 right now, and they still have a buy rating on it while raising it literally 50%, which is great. So good luck to all. Hope this video was helpful. Let me know if there's more information in the comments below, or if I misspoke on anything, please correct me. But excited to be on this ride with you guys. Let's get it.